Welcome back. Today we are joined by Gabe Rockers with Edward Jones. We're going to be talking about if you can save too much for a rainy day. Gabe, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you guys for allowing me to sponsor this segment.
Definitely, of course. We're always talking about pretty important things, and today, if we can save too much for a rainy day. Now, Gabe, saving for a rainy day, is it normal to interpret that as like saving for a car payment or saving for kind of like an emergency fund for health services, things like that?
Great question. You are right on the money, Mary Grace, that a rainy day first has to be defined, and some of those common rainy day items would be major home repair, major vehicle repair, maybe a medical expense that is pretty extensive, or potentially just a disruption to your working income, a loss of employment.
Okay, got it. So here we're talking about maybe what are issues that can come with saving too much. We're talking about maybe that emergency savings account, something that you can get into and pull out cash pretty easily if you need it for an emergency. So what are issues that can come along with that, Gabe?
Great question. So first and foremost, I would say everybody needs one of these. We don't know when it's going to happen, but everybody experiences a rainy day at some point in time, and it tends to happen at least every year. So just kind of a general rule of thumb with your emergency fund, we would advise that people try to build a 6-month supply of their living expenses. And to first do that, you've got to look at your budget and figure out what your total monthly expenses amount to. And so if people don't build that fund and then that rainy day moment happens, it's going to derail other areas of their financial plan. They may have to stop contributing to retirement, or worse yet, take money out of retirement to handle that emergent need. And all that really does is it just minimizes what that future retirement looks like. In reference to some people are so focused on protecting for today and protecting from that rainy day that they may even be overfunding that emergency fund. And the risk with that is you've got too much money and too much safety that's rather unemployed from a growth perspective in reference to what other goals you have monetarily speaking, i.e. like me wanting to eventually retire.
Right. Okay. So 6 months of living expenses is about a good amount for an emergency fund here, but we're talking about maybe if you have more than that, you want to feel secure in your right now, but it sounds like those problems come along when you have too much in that account, when you could be investing that into account that you can look toward for retirement or something like that. So you're kind of hindering your future self to make sure that you have everything you need right now.
That's absolutely right. That there's an opportunity cost in about everything we do. If I choose to go this way today, I can't go that way. And so if I'm building excess emergency fund or rainy day monies, I may be underweight or not putting enough emphasis on other needs that I have. Keep in mind, rainy day funds are supposed to be in something very low risk and very liquid and accessible. And if you're very low risk with that money, you're probably missing out on some growth performance opportunities.
Right. So we definitely want to make sure we are still putting it away and growing our money so we can meet our financial goals. Gabe, people can get in touch with Edward Jones so they can show you their rainy day funds, and is this enough? Is this too much? And if it is, where else should I be putting it? So how can people get in touch with you, Gabe, to discuss some of this?
I appreciate you asking me. So we're located on the South Belt down near the Tractor Supply and the Walmart. If anybody wants to walk in when they're driving through the area, we'd be happy to meet them, get to know them a little bit, and set a time to dig a little deeper in that process. People can find us on the internet. People can pick up the phone and dial us as well. So our aim is to build strong relationships with our clients to understand what their needs and goals amount to, so then we can design plans to get them to their goals on time, or even better yet, ahead of schedule.
Excellent, excellent. Absolutely, Gabe. Gabe Rockers with Edward Jones. Gabe, thanks again for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Again, thank you guys for having me today.
Of course. And stay with us. We'll be right back after a break.